All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gabe Albornoz. I'm one of the at-large members of the Montgomery County Council, and it is truly an honor and privilege to be with all of you this afternoon. I want to thank Gigi Godwin, the President and CEO of the Montgomery County Chamber, for hosting us today and your partnership for this very important bill. I want to also begin by thanking my colleague and friend, Councilmember Nancy Navarro, for being the co-lead sponsor on this important initiative. Councilmember Navarro, in her year as president, this most recent term, accomplished more than just about any president that I've seen on the county council in the 12 years that I've been in office. And among the two issues that she focused on very keenly during her term was economic development and childcare. Now, this council is extraordinarily committed to enhancing economic development opportunities here in Montgomery County. And we have heard repeatedly from businesses that one of the areas that they struggle to compete with local jurisdictions is in the recruitment of talent. Now, there are a variety of mechanisms that this council is utilizing to access talent, whether that's improving our transportation network, enhancing the amount of housing options in the county. But despite all those efforts, we need to think of creative ways moving forward in order for us to be able to attract talent and thus attract businesses. The other ongoing challenge that we have here in Montgomery County, as is true across the country, is the affordability of quality childcare. As I said in earlier comments, I have 4 children under the age of 11, and I can speak in the first person about both the expense and the challenges involved, regardless of your socioeconomic status, but particularly for those most vulnerable, in accessing quality childcare opportunities here in Montgomery County. And so this bill, Bill 920, the Local Business Child Care Grant Program, will provide an incentive to help our county's small businesses attract talent while also expanding in access to quality child care here in Montgomery County. It's important to note that this matching grant program is for businesses of 50 or fewer employees, and we know that businesses of 50 or fewer employees make up the vast majority of businesses here in Montgomery County. It's also important to note that nonprofit organizations are also eligible to go for this matching grant. And we hope that this really raises the entire pie so that we can have more economic development opportunities here in the county. I want to thank our Council President, Sidney Katz, and our Council Vice President, Tom Hucker, who are also co-sponsors of this bill, and as well as Council Hans Reamer. And in a minute or two, you will also hear from my colleague and friend, Andrew Friedson, who is also a co-sponsor. And with that, I want to now bring up to the podium my colleague and friend and the co-lead sponsor of this bill, Councilmember Nancy Navarro.
Thank you so much. So first of all, of course, I want to thank my colleague, co-lead sponsor, Gabe Albornoz, for his amazing, really innovative approach to this issue, as well as his collaborative nature. I think that, when we're all willing to work together, we can really achieve amazing things. I also want to thank all of the partners, and of course, first of all, our hostess, Gigi Godwin, and of course, Montgomery Moving Forward, Economic Development Corporation, Mikkel. I mean, there are just so many partners who have been involved in this issue from the very beginning. Our nonprofit partners are just so important as we are trying to address these really interesting challenges around economic development, but most certainly around this issue of early care and education. And I was so thrilled when Councilmember Albornoz first spoke to me about this particular proposal, because it really does tie into a lot of that very important work we did last year. I want to acknowledge Councilmember Friedson, because I can tell you that whenever we talk about economic development or anything related to furthering this issue, Councilmember Friedson is the first one to say, let's do it. Councilmember Albornoz is also there equally, and I always know I can count on the two of them for any kind of innovative approach, and I'm really looking forward to a lot of future innovative proposals. But let me just say very quickly that, when we adopted the economic economic development platform, one of those quadrants was this issue of workforce development. And we have heard time and time again, like Councilmember Albornoz said, that this issue of the talent pipeline is really important. But as we seek to attract more and more companies here, maybe younger families, et cetera, there is no doubt that this issue of childcare quality, childcare is always something that we all have grappled with at some point in our lives. So I think this will go a long way, and it is one component of this broader economic development platform. It also fits so nicely in the Early Care and Education Initiative. And if anything, I hope that you take away is that this is a council that is super committed in not doing things in a piecemeal fashion, but in absolutely looking at frameworks and then holding ourselves accountable. But the only way we can do that is if we have these strategic frameworks. And so I'm thrilled that this is one more component that would get us there. And I'm super excited to not only be a co-lead, but obviously to continue to work with my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Navarro. And now the real deal, Councilmember Andrew Friedson.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Albornoz, a good friend of mine and a colleague who I'm really excited to be able to work together on this initiative. And thank you to Councilmember Navarro as well for her leadership. She mentioned the Economic Development Platform, and this is a really important part of that. And I'm also extremely proud of the fact that this bill that I got to be a co-sponsor of, and I'm really excited about the introduction of, is the first bill that is going to go through an economic impact statement, and we have just received the economic impact statement, and with the partnership of the Chamber, we're able to work on that to make sure that every decision we make is focused on what the economic impact is going to be, not just on the county's budget, but on the budgets of residents and on businesses, because their budgets are what dictate what our budget looks like. And I think that's what this bill really means. That's what this program is going to do. It's going to help us, as you heard earlier, really focus on talent retention and talent attraction. We do not realize our economic development potential. We do not realize our full county's potential unless we are realizing the potential of every single person in our community. And for residents to have to make the choice between childcare and work, between monetizing their skills and monetizing their talents and taking care of their children, we are leaving too much talent on the sidelines, and we are leaving too much economic opportunity on the sideline. That's economic opportunity for the families that we're talking about, and it's economic development opportunity for our county as a whole. And so that's why I'm just so proud to be a small part of this effort, to be able to work together with my colleagues, and I really am grateful for their support and the support of all of our business partners and community partners who are part of this as well. We succeed when everybody succeeds, and allowing everybody in the community to have a part of the economy and to not have the cost obstacles that they have is why we're here today, and I'm really excited to be part of this initiative and this effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd be remiss not to acknowledge that this is also being supported by the Chambers of Commerce of Greater Gaithersburg, Germantown, Bethesda, and Silver Spring. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the incredible background work that went into this bill. And my Chief of Staff, Joy Nurmi, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Lillian Cruz, and two of our incredible team members, Maida Bayonet and Beth Schumann, this was an all hands on deck, and really appreciate all of their remarkable efforts in making this happen. So I want to now bring to the podium Ms. Tricia Swanson, representing the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce. Tricia was the first person who actually brought this bill to our attention initially. So Tricia, thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today in support of the Local Business Child Care Grant Program. The idea for this legislation originated this last summer. We polled our board of directors for their thought leadership and asked them one question: what's keeping you up at night? And our board is incredibly diverse. We have companies from that employ 2 people to those that employ tens of thousands. And they are government contractors, they're in information technology, hospitality, financial services, educational institutions. They all came back with one answer: talent. It was the attraction and retention of top talent. So we asked our board to take a deeper dive. What is the talent concerned with? What is keeping your employees up at night? And reliable and affordable childcare emerged very quickly as a front runner. Further, through the Chamber's work with Montgomery Moving Forward, we learned the true scope of the economic cost of unreliable childcare. Employee absences and turnover due to childcare cost employers $2.4 billion. It reduces the state's economic output by $1.28 billion. That's billion with a B. And reduced Maryland's tax revenue by $117 million in 2016. I want to take a moment to specifically applaud the work that Montgomery Moving Forward is doing in and for our county, and the Chamber has been a proud partner in our efforts with all of you, and we look forward to future collaborations. So to compete for talent with our surrounding jurisdictions and across the nation, Montgomery County must differentiate ourselves in the marketplace, and childcare should absolutely be a part of that discussion, as our county has done incredible work in the area of childcare accessibility and affordability. The Chamber wants to thank Councilmember Gabe Albornoz and his office for their leadership on this legislation. He fully understood and understands the importance of childcare to our workforce and how to leverage that to make Montgomery County more economically competitive. He and his office took a nugget of an idea from the Chamber and worked with us to build a creative solution that can be used as a tool in the toolkit for employers and can assist in childcare costs for their employees. And I would be remiss in highlighting the work that the county has done in childcare without specifically thanking Councilmember Nancy Navarro for her impassioned advocacy on this issue. The Chamber's proud to have her as a co-lead sponsor on the legislation. The Chamber also wants to thank the co-sponsors of the bill, Council President Sidney Katz, Vice President Tom Hucker, Council Members Andrew Friedson, and Councilmember Hans Remer. And we look forward to the public hearing and to the eventual passage of the Local Business Child Care Grant Program. This grant program is a direct benefit to our small businesses in the county and the workforce as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tricia. We're very well done. One of the most impressive organizations that I've had the opportunity to work with over the last few years is Montgomery Moving Forward. They have brought together the public, private, and nonprofit sectors in a truly unique and substantive way to tackle some of the county's most pressing issues. And among the issues that they have chosen to focus on is early childhood education here in Montgomery County. And I really want to thank them for their partnership, not just with the development of this bill, but all they're doing to help connect the various sectors to more cohesively and holistically address the early childhood and education needs of all of our families here in Montgomery County. Representing Montgomery Moving Forward is Kathy Stevens, whom I had the opportunity to sit next to on a plane ride to El Salvador during a sister city trip. And so I want to thank my seatmate, Kathy Stevens, and her leadership at McHale as well. Kathy.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. As Gabe said, Montgomery Moving Forward takes a collective impact approach to improving Montgomery County's early care and education system. And we are so grateful to be an initiative of Nonprofit Montgomery, the key organization in the county supporting nonprofits. Since 2016, we have engaged business, government, education, nonprofits, faith community, philanthropy, and families with children in pursuit of a coordinated and comprehensive system that supports today's families. And by today's families, we mean the workers of today and then the young children who are the workers of tomorrow. I'm honored to represent MMF today as one of its nonprofit business participants. MMF wholeheartedly supports the Local Business Child Care Grant Program bill. We support this bill because we know that ECE affordability does not affect our poorest neighbors or a single sector. It affects our neighbors in the middle who are extremely challenged to afford high quality early care and education. It impacts our business community. Our businesses are looking to attract and retain the talented workers and everyone in between. So as this bill recognizes, affordable access to high quality ECE is an economic imperative for the county. The cost of enrolling children in unsubsidized early learning centers is often the deciding factor for middle-class, younger employees' decisions, whether they're going to leave the workforce or not rejoin the workforce after having children. This bill is one important tool in our collective toolbox towards improving the ECE opportunities in the county for everyone. Montgomery Moving Forward certainly wants to thank the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, the County Council and the County Executive for the leadership in bringing together all sectors to look at this transformational effort around early care and education. We know this is just one step. It demonstrates the commitment to turning this challenge into an equity opportunity, strengthening businesses by improving educational and workforce opportunities for residents, and this showcases the outcomes that result when our different sectors work collectively together in the county. Thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes our press conference this afternoon. My colleagues and I have to head back over across the street. It's a full day and docket, and obviously there's a lot going on with the coronavirus, etc. But we will be around to answer any individual questions that you may have, and want to thank everybody again for your participation this afternoon. Thank you.